Hello everyone. This activity is a continuation of the Zodiac activity, which was the previous video. And so the goals for this activity are to continue learning about the Chinese Zodiac and also to reinforce that modular thinking and build on the previous activity. So in the previous activity, we did the Chinese Zodiac with elements. Now this time, the way we're going to make it a little more complicated is we're going to talk about compatibility and compatibility. So you'll start off with incompatibility, and the rule is that you are incompatible with an animal that is 6 away from your animal year. So you can encourage students to do this with their animals. So for example, I was born in the year of the tiger, okay? And what's 6 away from the tiger? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, monkey. Yeah, so I'm incompatible with the monkey sign. And then there are questions about, do you know anyone with these signs? Do you think you're incompatible with them or not? And that folds in the question about, predetermination versus whether or not these animals really determine, your personality and your future and such. And then I like this last thing, draw a line connecting your animal year with the animal year you're incompatible with. I think this is really valuable because when you do that, like if I draw from tiger to monkey, you notice something, is that it crosses right through the middle. And in fact, if you did this with any of the signs, they all sort of cross through the middle. So you can tell compatibility versus incompatibility just by looking at what animal is at the opposite side of you on this wheel. So that's a good observation. And I would try to encourage your students to, go towards that sort of thinking, but don't push them to it. Let them sort of naturally develop that idea organically. Okay. And then a question that you can add on is that, is this dependent upon the year? Will a rat always be incompatible with a horse? Or will it change from year to year, like the elements do sometimes? And why or not? And you could talk about, well, if I erased all the years on this wheel, it wouldn't change the counting I'm doing up to 6. So that's one explanation, but there are others, and you could think of good ways to sort of convince your students of that. And then from there, you could be talking about compatibility. So the rule for compatibility is you're compatible with an animal that is 0, 4, or 8 years away from your animal year. So let's do this again with my tiger. So here is my tiger wheel. And if I count, let's see, 0 years away, well, that's still the tiger again, so I'm compatible with myself. Well, that's good news. And then 4 years away, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like I'm good buds with the horses. And then let's do another 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 years away, and it looks like I'm also a big fan of dogs. Cool. And then you can ask the same sort of questions like, do you know anyone with these animal signs that are compatible to you? Do you think that they're good descriptors of what's going on? Why or why not? And then you can draw a connecting line or shade like I have done. And then you kind of see that there's this perfect thirds that are happening. Perfect thirds. Why would it be thirds? It's probably because 0, 4, or 8, that's 0 thirds, 1 third, or 2 thirds of 12. So, there's some intuition for you. But you can really ask yourself, or ask your students, if 2 people are compatible with ox, does that mean they're compatible with each other? Or if 2 people are compatible with dragon, does that mean that they're compatible with each other, right? Do you have friend groups or just strings of friends? You can think about that one. Because it introduces this idea of what's called an equivalence relation. An equivalence relation is a relation between things that follows certain rules. It has to have symmetry, reflexivity, and transitivity. So compatibility is an equivalence relation. Symmetry means that, X is compatible with X, right? So up here, I said, oh, look, I'm a tiger. I'm compatible with myself because that's year 0. So you're always compatible with yourself. You have symmetry. Reflexivity is when if X is compatible with Y, then Y is compatible with X. So if tiger is compatible with horse, does that mean that horse is compatible with tiger? Well, I think so, right? Because if you start at horse and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you get back to tiger. So it does look like it has reflexivity. And then the last one, transitivity, is exactly this question right here, right? If I know that tiger is friends with horse, and if I know that horse is friends with dog, does that mean that tiger is friends with dog? And I think the answer here is yes, because of this, sort of thirds activity going on. Okay. I would not use this formal language with your students. I wouldn't use the idea of symmetry, reflexivity, or transitivity. They're really way too technical. So I would encourage using informal language, like just like asking the questions like I did above, right? Is tiger compatible with tiger? If two people are compatible with ox, does that mean they're compatible with each other? Really kind of work in that idea rather than looking at just this formal language. And then here's a good question. Does incompatibility follow these relationships? What about neutrality when two animals are neither incompatible nor compatible? Are those equivalence relations? Think about it.